Why, greetings, YouTube. How are you doing today? The Ninth Circle coming at you here on a lazy Monday afternoon. I just had to do a full store inventory at my job last night and was there until 1 o'clock in the morning. Didn't get home until about 1:30. Got home. One of my dogs had pooped on the floor, had to clean that up. Got to bed about 2 and woke up at 7 a.m. To get kids off to school. So yeah, I'm a little... Let's adjust the camera here a bit, shall we? That's just bugging me. There we go. That's a little better. A little better in the frame there. All right, so enough rambling from me. What we are listening to right now is Forgotten Tomb, Love's Burial Ground. This is the 2004 album by this Italian black metal band from... they are a depressive, suicidal black metal band. Here's a really stupid fucking thing on the inside. It's like a kid with a gun in her mouth. You're like, yeah, pretty fucking lame. But this, like I said, this is their third album. I actually, like I said, I like the earlier stuff by this band. I mean, they're not a favorite or anything like that. They kind of, as time went on, became even cheesier than this, kind of incorporated more gothic and doom elements. They put out a bunch of albums. I think their last one was probably 2020. It's been about 3 years, but I only have one other one after this. I think I have the first 4. So I have, this is their third one. Like I said, the one I remember being the best was the second one, Springtime Depression. Though the follow-up to the one after this is pretty good too. The name of it escapes me at the moment. But anyway, that's what we're listening to in the background. Forgotten Tomb, Love's Burial Ground. Worth checking out if you dig depressive, suicidal, black metal sort of stuff. So, okay. Damn, the thing keeps slipping. It's driving me up the wall. But that's what happens when you're trying to shoot this on cell phone. I made another video yesterday on using the laptop camera, and it was the video quality was shit. It was so bad. So I ordered a webcam today. Should be here tomorrow. So the next video I shoot should be on the webcam, and we'll see how that looks. But that other video, I deleted it. It looked like ass. Not to mention, I got a phone call towards the end of it. So, and I tried editing it. And when I edited it, uploaded it, or downloaded it to my computer, and it said it was unreadable. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? So, just not meant to be. So, gone. So, anyway. Records, here we go. So, first off here, we've got Memoriam. This one is To the End. This is the third Memoriam record. Of course, Memoriam is Carl Willits from Bolt Thrower fame. Original drummer of Bolt Thrower, Andy Whale, was in this project, but this is the third Memoriam album, and he's not on this one. They replaced the drummer on this one. Also, there's a former member of Benediction in this record as well. So, god damn, this fucking thing. Anyway, we'll put this here. So, this band sounds similar to Bolt Thrower. There's no denying there's a similarity to Bolt Thrower here, but Carl's vocals are not nearly as guttural and death metal. They're still harsh. This album's a little bit better. I have the first one, and I didn't really like it very much. This album sees them getting a little more, I'm gonna fix that, a little more melodic. There's some better, like, riffing and stuff like that on there. Oh, the glare. So I do find this an improvement. I know they just put out a new album called Rise to Power. I may end up picking that one up as well. But if you're a diehard Bolt Thrower and Benediction fan, you would probably not be disappointed by this. I love Bolt Thrower. Benediction, I'm not, like, completely in love with them, but it's a decent record. I don't know. I'm not, it's a bit disappointing if you compare it to Bolt Thrower, but it's still good. Still solid. Okay. Next up here, we have Mortem with their album Demon Tales. So this Mortem, there's another Mortem as well, but this is the one from South America. So this is their first LP. This is a reissue of it that's on a label called Post Under that was released a couple of years ago. I picked this up from Nuclear War Now around that time. This artwork, of course, you've seen this. I believe Reverend Bizarre used the same artwork as well, but I'm sure Mortem probably used it first. So Mortem are, I mean, they were early 90s South American death metal, so you can definitely hear the influence of some of their South American peers like Sarcophago and Sex Trash, but you can also definitely hear a lot of the early American death metal stuff creeping in there. They owe a heavy debt to like Possessed and early Death, all that kind of stuff. They really remind me at times a lot of the camera just keeps sliding. Jesus Christ. Yeah, there we go. I'm shooting the video and the camera is like sliding slowly but surely down. But they remind me a lot of they remind me of Sadistic Intent a lot, honestly. That's one of the things. I don't know if they were influenced by Sadistic Intent, but I think it's just from the era of death metal that they're minted from, you know, late 80s, early 90s. So a lot of really good songs on here. End of the Christian Era, Demonolatry, Blackened Arts. Really good stuff. All right, next up, we have Wasted Youth with their second album that is called, what is this called again? It is Black, it's upside down on the back. Black Days, yes. Let me re-sleeve. Black Days by Wasted Youth. So, most of you will probably know Wasted Youth primarily as a hardcore band. They had an album out in 1983 that was, it's a good hardcore record. It's, you know, early American hardcore, fast, you know, in your face, short songs, average song length is like 2 minutes. Really good. But this album, as you can see with the artwork, which I think is done by the same guy that did the artwork for Beowulf, is crossover thrash, and it is really good, really tightly performed crossover thrash. Excellent stuff. This was released in 1987. It's put out on Medusa, which of course was the same label that put out that Beowulf record. So, so many good songs on here. Fucking Buckethead, Gang Violence, The Gift of Death, A Good Day for Hanging. Yeah, just really aggressive. I mean, the cover is fucking phenomenal. I mean, it's just beautiful. Like, beautiful piece. You know, solid, like, just go for your throat crossover thrash stuff that, you know, Venice Beach stuff. If you like stuff like Suicidal Tendencies and Excel, this is definitely for you. You're gonna, and Beowulf, you're gonna dig this a lot. So, highly recommended. Highly recommended. And next record, The Plasmatics, Metal Priestess. So, this record, of course, Wendy O. Williams, of course, legendary frontwoman in the punk and metal scene, sadly took her own life in 1998 by suicide. You know, Wendy was kind of like, I guess in some ways you could say she was kind of like Gigi Allen to an extent. I mean, without the shitting on stage and stuff, but it was kind of a similar element of stage antics and things like that. But I honestly, the Plasmatics were a really good band, and this record has, you can see there, you've got Richie Stotts and West Beach. They do show on here on the back. You know, Plasmatics really straddled the line between metal and punk perfectly. You know, and, you know, Wendy did stuff with, like, Lemmy, Motorhead. I mean, she was involved, like, Gene Simmons, like, produced some of their records and stuff like that. So, she was definitely, they as a band were wired in. Some really good songs on here. It's only 6 songs. The song, you know, so you've got Lunacy, Doom Song, Sex Junkie, Black Leather Monster, Master Plan. Really, but again, this is a reissue. This is a MVD Audio 2015 pressing of the record. Just on black, you know. Again, I wouldn't say it's my favorite Plasmatics record. I really like New Hope for the Wretched a lot, and Beyond the Valley of 1984 are better, but this is still awesome. This is still a great record to listen to. If you dig 80s metal punk type stuff, if you know, I mean, I guess, like I said, if you can dig on like Broken Bones and stuff, there is an analogy to that kind of stuff here. So definitely recommended. Magnus, I'm making a video. I'll talk to you in a minute. I swear to God, every time I try to make a video, I get interrupted. Either by kids, my youngest son is home because he's kind of a little sick, but yes, like I said, yesterday when I was trying to make that video, at the end, I got a call from one of my bandmates. There was confusion about whether we were practicing, and so I was down here shooting the video. I could hear my dogs going crazy upstairs, and I'm like, what are they barking at? And then my phone rings, and it's Dave, the guitarist in my band, and he's like, and I realized, holy shit, he's here to pick me up for band practice, and I'm like, I thought we had, you know, understood that I had to work, because I had to work in the afternoon yesterday. Normally we'd practice on Sundays, but anyway, long story short, I felt like a fucking asshole because he drove fucking 20 minutes out of his way to pick me up, and we ended up not having practice. I couldn't go to practice. I was like, sorry man, I gotta be at work in an hour and a half, and our practice space is like 25 minutes away, so by the time we get out there, I could maybe practice for maybe 30 minutes, and then you'd have to bring me back. But anyway, enough rambling. So, what do we have here? Sadistic Force with the album Aces Wild. So this is a new band. I'll take this out of the sleeve here a little bit. This is on 2 labels, Mercenary Press, Postmortem Apocalypse. These guys, pretty cool cover here too. These guys are a black thrash band from Texas. This is their first album. So these guys kind of are reminiscent of stuff like Nocturnal Breed. You know, that's kind of one of my biggest, I'd say the biggest analogy I drew there, you know, would be Nocturnal Breed, the German black thrash band. Really fast, in your face, you know, super aggressive vocals. You know, the new Malleus, I mean, there's a slight correlation. The new Malleus has a lot more of that modern, or not modern, but the Kill 'Em All Metallica vibe. This stuff is more European thrash. This stuff kind of has more of like, I imagine like Creator, like Extreme Aggression era Creator with like harsh black metal vocals. So again, a really good record, worth checking out too. Next up, we have Pure Wrath and a camera that's fucking sliding. Jesus Christ. This is why I bought that webcam, because literally, like, either shooting on the phone is a pain in the ass because the phone is sliding. Shooting on my laptop is a pain in the ass because the video quality is dog shit. You literally can't fucking see anything. So anyway, Pure Wrath, one-man atmospheric black metal project from Indonesia. This is the 3rd album by him that is called Hymn to the Woeful Hearts. He does have studio musicians on this record. This is on Debomir Morty. This was from 2022. Very melodic, very smooth, you know, harsh vocals. The vocals are really good, but if you like stuff like you know, some of the Panopticon stuff and things like that, or even some of the more like Alcest, some of the harsher Alcest stuff, you would probably like this quite a bit, you know. Not a whole lot to say about it. I like it, but it didn't totally blow me away, you know. It's a little paint by numbers, so I don't know. I might have to go back and listen to some of the other stuff and see if it moves me, but I mean, it's good, but probably out of, you know, again, kind of like that Memoriam record. I like it, but I don't love it, you know. All right, 2 more, and then I'll get out of your hair. This video's pretty scattershot because I am tired as shit, and I just was like, no, I want to shoot this. Anyway, Stone Cold classic here in the Hellenic black metal world. This is Rotting Christ with A Dead Poem. This is the 4th Rotting Christ record, released in 1997. This album sees them going into a much more heavy metal and melodic direction. I mean, they always had that there, but I would say it's not as fast. It's not as riffy, you know? It's more melodic than it is riffy, but it is a really good record. I mean, take a drink here. It really kind of acts as a bridge between their first 3 records have kind of a uniform sound, I would say, you know, where they're very riffy, they've got a lot of cool licks, and are a little bit harsher. And this is kind of almost like a transitional album. By the time you get to their 5th record, Sleep with the Angels, that one is super melodic, to the point where at times it almost reminds me of like Gothenburg stuff. But I mean, I guess look at the time frame that album came out, 1999. It was like all that shit was like blowing up in the metal world at the end of the 90s and the early part of the 2000s. So anyway, Rotting Christ, I'll show you the back here. Not anything too amazing there, but they played here recently, a couple weeks ago. I missed them. I ended up working late, and I could have caught them, but I was just tired. That's what happens when you're fucking old. Like, you weigh the cost of like, oh, I'm not going to get home till midnight, and then I have to go to work the next day. Is it worth it? And you go, no, I'm fucking pathetic. Anyway, good songs on this. Full Color is the Night I really like a lot. Among Two Storms. And then probably this title track, A Dead Poem, are all really good. So, those, like I said, but Rotting Christ are definitely a favorite, especially the first 3 records are fucking great. So good. The newer albums, after Thagonia, I don't really love the direction they've gone in. You know, they've become a lot more trancey. The riffs aren't very strong. Everything's very repetitive, you know. So I don't actually own. I think I own 1 album after Thagonia, and that's it. I haven't gotten. They have like 3 other albums after that. I don't have Rituals. I don't have the Heretics. I'm always kind of like, nah, maybe if I run across them used, I'd possibly buy them, but I don't know. When I've listened to that stuff, it kind of bored me. And it's sad because I really love early Rotting Christ a lot, but like their newer stuff, it's just kind of dull. It's just very repetitive. It's kind of just background music. Anyway, last thing, and I had shown this on my Instagram account recently. Little D-beat for you. Discard, what is arguably the first Discharge clone band with their only album, 4 Minutes Past Midnight. So, as you can see, everything from the logo in the exact same font as Discharge. Artwork, of course, scenes of some bombed out cathedral. You can see the other side there with the cross still standing, but oh yeah, 100% total Discharge worship in the best way possible. So this was released in 1994. This was the last thing they ever released. The vocalist for this band was also in the Swedish hardcore band that turned into a Swedish thrash band, Agony. So he was in this band, you know, they so of course, short songs, this record's in and out really quickly. This band did not release a whole lot of material. They had a demo and they had some stuff on some compilations and they had this, and that was it. The song I Won't Surrender is kind of rad because it actually has a nod, I would say, to the Grave New World era of Discharge, where the vocals are kind of in the vein of what Cal was doing on that record, but a whole lot better. not real cheap, not super high, but it's like the inflection. It was kind of like this kind of like very like sleazy, you know, like, because if you've heard Grave New World, and that record it's pretty fucking bad. I know there's people that defend it and stuff, but it's a pretty shit record, honestly, especially because of the vocals. They're fucking terrible. But Cal tried to do sort of like this Sunset Strip glam metal vocal style, and he was really bad at it. You know, maybe if he had been good at it, maybe if he had fucking sounded like Blackie Lawless or something, like, it would have been good, but he did not sound like Blackie Lawless. He sounded like someone fucking he sounded like Vince Neil sounds now. He sounded like someone strangling fucking Vince Neil. Like a fucking dead cat stuck in Vince Neil's fucking throat is what he sounds like. So... But the inflection on that album, on that song, I should say, is very much in the vein of what Cal was doing. So it's almost like a nod to that. Almost like, yeah, we kind of dig that record, but, you know, we could do it better, you know. So, anyway, Discard, really good fucking Discharge Worship D-Beat stuff. Check it out. All right, so that's all I've got for the moment. The next video coming up is going to be a specifically themed video about a subject I am not super familiar with and have kind of like decided on a whim to get into, is to listen to some Christian death metal, some older Christian death metal bands from the 90s. So that's what it's going to be. I'm going to show several albums by four Christian death metal bands. Well, one of them hardly qualifies as death metal. It's almost more like thrash with some death metal vocals. But anyway, we'll get to that when that video is made. So that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. I noticed I've picked up a handful of new subscribers, so I really appreciate that. If you've got any comments about anything I've showed, please leave them down there, as you know, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.